church and religion again. This is Mount Zion in worship, and you know, it's look, it's a black church. Okay, yeah, typical. I mean, it's just a cliche. Haven't we all seen it already? We all heard it. Yes, you start off nice and soft, and you're talking, and then, you know, by the end he'll be sweating and screaming and yelling, and, you know, if the hat doesn't fit, it doesn't fit, and you know, you must quit if it doesn't fit. You know, he'll be, you know, it's just, you know, no offense, but what the hell does this have to do with Jesus Christ? I mean, really, hallelujahs and who did this and how to blah blah blah. No, I'm sorry. It just does. What sense does any of this jabber make? What relevance does it have to you know, the real story? I mean, what? No, you know, whatever. I really don't think Jesus spoke in rhymes. So anyway, we'll just suffer through this. You know, it's getting pretty intense here. This was later on in the show. Getting pretty intense. I don't remember what he was ranting, but it was something. So now the Catholics. Okay, you know, I'd like to rip them a new, you know, asshole, as they say, because geez, you know, Catholics really piss me off. I mean, they have to get in everybody's friggin' face with their damn religion. No, look, okay, you can believe abortion is wrong and you believe it's all this other stuff, but it's none of your business to tell other people how they're going to live their life. And the whole thing with the euthanasia, you're sick, sadistic bastards. I mean, why don't you just mind your own damn business? Jack Kevorkian was put in jail because of Catholics, okay? I mean, it's a Catholic state there in Michigan. And, you know, they basically said, oh, we're going to crucify Jack Kevorkian for helping dying people die more gracefully. Okay, yes, oh yes, and he said we have this, you know, Bishop Hootie, you know, beautiful, you know, can't even say the word beautiful right, and he's a bishop, beautiful, and so here, they have a whole show on icons, okay, yeah, guess what, didn't you read the friggin' 10 Commandments about the engraven images? You're really not supposed to be worshiping images, you're really not. It's not that complicated. How can you miss the concept? How can you miss the concept? No engraven images. I mean, the whole idea, God was basically saying it's the word that's important, not images, not pictures. Ugh, but they don't get it. And so here's a fishing show. Some nice big fish. I guess these were striped bass, they're called. Yeah, okay. So every show, you know, I did see a couple, and they fished for bluefish, and then they fished for these, you know, other fish. And so I guess they do mostly deep sea fishing, but you know, obviously the land's in the background, so it ain't that deep. You know, but it's they don't tell you where they are, or what they're using, how they bait their hooks, or how they do this, or how they do that, or trolling, or what they're doing. Here they're catching the bait fish before they go out fishing. You know, but it's basically a home video on a boat, and yeah, they catch some fish, but you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know if there's really enough content there to call it a TV show, especially when it's like all these people went into making it. You know, I mean, wait till you see. You know, well, the credits aren't on here, but you know, a lot of people. And it's like, you know, if there's going to be that many people involved, well, maybe you ought to write a little bit of a script, or maybe you ought to write some jokes, or do something during the little dead periods of the fishing to make it a little more interesting. But it's, no, they don't. It's just, like I said, you take a camera out with the family on the fishing boat, and this is what you get. And maybe we ought to just put a camera on the fishing boat and get all the families and stuff. Okay, here's the last show, Real Faith TV. Now, this is another Catholic thing, and, you know, I don't entirely get it. Because, you know, the girl host on this show is just too hot, and you know, it just, I don't know, it's too patronizing, is that the right word? It's like, yeah, we can't earn people into the faith, so let's seduce them into the faith. And well, I guess that's legitimate. I mean, you know, I mean, that's how everybody operates. We're all guilty of that. But I mean, this is a God we're talking about again, so I mean, maybe there shouldn't be compromises. Maybe we shouldn't have to seduce teenagers into you know, playing along by creating some hip show And, they're talking about divorce. Catholics talking about divorce. It doesn't make any sense. Why aren't they just, well, because they're talking about it in a way that doesn't have anything to do with what the Bible said. I mean, there's only one thing Jesus ever complained about or said you were going to go to hell for. And guess what? It's divorce. I mean, it's the only thing he was explicit about. And he says, you're done. You're not, it's divorce. You can't go to heaven and be divorced. You can't do it. And so there's no point in talking about how tough it is on your this and that and the rest of this stuff, is if you're Catholics, you think your parents are going to hell. So maybe that should be your trauma. But anyway, it's an interesting show, just for what you're looking at. But beyond that, yeah, okay. As teen Catholic hip religious shows go, okay. But creeps me out a little. And that's all. That's all there is. So that's the end. Isn't that amazing?